Today we're going to be looking at the triangular needle. My name is Charlotte Allen and you've reached my channel, The Felting Alchemist. Now, in my previous video we covered the twisted or the spiral needle. So today I wanted to cover with you the triangular needle, and I wanted to cover this one next because this one tends to be the one that a lot of people get recommended to use when they first start out needle felting. Now, I don't really know why that is, because whilst this needle is absolutely fine and there's no issue with it at all, I don't really know why it's always recommended for beginners. And it might just be that that was my personal experience when I started out needle felting. But I have noticed quite a bit, especially in tutorials and things like that, that people tend to sort of gravitate more to the triangular needles for beginners, as opposed to, say, something like the twisted or spiral needle or the twisted star needle or something like that. So the triangular needle is what it says on the tin. It's a needle and it has a triangular shape. So if I hold it to the camera and I turn it round, hopefully you will see that it has three sides, and then you've got your barbs going down the three sides. So this needle comes in 5 different sizes. So on one end you've got your 32 gauge, which would be your very coarse needle, and you would use that for things like if you were making a large sculpture and you had a lot of wool that you needed to compact down quickly. On the other end you've got your very extra fine needle, which would be your 42 gauge needle, and then in between all of that you've got your coarse needle, your medium needle, and then your usual fine needle. So these needles are great, and I started out using them when I first started needle felting. I think I ordered a packet of needles from China and I didn't have any idea that there was different types of needles that you had to choose from. It just sent me a load of these triangular needles, and they, to be honest with you, they were a bit rusty. They weren't brilliant, but I just kind of, when you start out you don't realise, so you just work with what you've got, which is what I did. And then very quickly I realised that there were other types of needles out there, and then sort of expanded and tried out different things. So the triangular needle, it's a good all-rounder. It does the job. You can use it for many different things. So like I said, because you've got the very coarse needle, you can use it for large volumes of wool if you need something to be compacted down very quickly, but you also have your extra fine needle. Now, it's not my favourite needle because I do prefer the twisted or the spiral needle, purely because you don't really get much of an indentation when you remove the needle with the twisted spiral needle, whereas with the triangular needle I do tend to find you get a bit more of an indentation left there. Having said that, it's an easy needle to use. They're generally pretty robust. I always buy my needles online, and sometimes I buy them from somewhere like The Makers, which I find is a really great shop for needle felting supplies. I'm not sponsored by them, but that's just where I get my needles from, and I find that they're a really good quality. I've bulk bought my needles in the past. I've bulk bought them from Germany. They came and they weren't as good, so I've always stuck with The Makers for buying my needles. So the triangular needle, it kind of does what it says on the tin. It's not going to set the world on fire, I don't think. That's my personal opinion. It's a perfectly fine needle. It's good for felting. There are others out there that I prefer to use, but if you're starting out and you're not sure what to go with, the triangular needle's a good one to go with if you kind of want something that's an all-rounder and relatively robust. I really hope you found that useful. If you did, please like this video, and I'd be really interested as well to hear your comments about your experiences with triangular needles, or any other needles really. Which are your favourites and which ones you don't tend to use as much? So if you found this helpful, please subscribe because I'm posting daily at the moment, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.